Hello, 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 how are you? And welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Journey Series edition hosted by yours truly, Churchill. We're recording here at this beautiful, beautiful forest. Thanks to Mother Karua. Hapa ingekuwa imekatwa kuni hapa na kukajengwa magorofa kama za pipeline. But I'm sure akiwa up there and a smile anasema she did a great thing. No wonder you won the Nobel. So this is Karura Forest, and we have an amazing, amazing, amazing story lined up for you. A journey series of one of the most beautiful ladies to grace our screens, and of course, one of the best radio presenters we have in the country. You've requested for her, and thank you so much for your feedback on Twitter, Instagram, all social media. Thank you so much. Your request is our command. So today's Journey Series edition, we feature a story of the ever-fresh, ever-redefining Sheila Mwanyigha. Let's take a walk.
My name is Sheila Mwanyigha. I'm a media personality. I've worked on television, on radio, started out as a musician, and have dabbled in print a little bit. I also on online media, discovering a new place to tell stories and to just be myself and also learn more about the person that I am. I was born in Pumwani to two police officers, mtoto wa askari nakwambia. And if you think police have a hard time now, you can only imagine what it was like back then. And it was a simple life. We didn't have much, but we had everything that we needed to live, to be happy. It was a happy household. It wasn't perfect at all. My father was a very strict disciplinarian. My mom, well, you know, mothers and sons, but I was definitely my father's girl. And in as much as I was daddy's girl, I was also taught to be responsible and taught to grow up very early in life, to take care of my brother in school, but most importantly to also take care of myself, to watch my grades, to work hard, to stay disciplined. You know, when you're living with police officers, there's a plan. You can't just wake up in the morning and leo tunasikia aki kufanya just different. That did not exist. I was taught to be dedicated, to start something, that means you've got to finish it. You can't leave things halfway. Your word meant something. If you say you're going to do something, then you do it. You had to show up and you had to be 100% present, taking responsibility for things, whether they were good, whether they were bad. If they happened on your watch and it was on your call, then you really had to step up and own up, whether it was punishment or rewards. You would face the music appropriately. I went to High Ridge Primary School, and then I went to Pangani Girls High School. Pangani Girls was such an amazing experience. Mrs. Chariot was the headmistress at the time, and she really was tough. But then it was a school full of so many girls from so many different backgrounds. And she had to be tough, because you just give little girls an inch and you see where they're going to end up. But it's where I made some of the most lasting relationships of my life. There are three ladies, I think it's actually two, that I still keep in touch with from that era. And one in particular who's my sister. I mean, she's my friend, but I think of her as a sister first. If I think about my family, I don't have any sisters. I only have one brother, and he's younger. He's in the forces with two police officers. It was obvious that one of us kids was going to pick up the uniform, and it wasn't going to be me. Diana was the sister that I never had, and later on, of course, I met more girls and more women who shaped and influenced me and have walked with me through this journey of life. Finishing Pangani Girls was exciting, and I was a prefect. I was the deputy head captain for Heron House. So it was just a series of, you're a responsible child. Yes, you do get in trouble every now and then, the usual, mnapiga magoti kule nje, you're making noise, but it was just such a wonderful time in my life. If I could do it all over again, I know when we were younger then we'd say, never again are we coming back. But it's one of those things that I think I would do again if I had the chance and the opportunity to. In Pangani Girls, one of my key achievements was not just being the editor of the school magazine at the time. It was called Cane, and we caned everyone, which is or was slang for making fun of people then. I think I'm showing my age, huh? But it was fun, and I also started a music group. It was called SSATQ, Sheila and the Crew. Yes, I wrote all the songs, but then I wasn't the greatest dancer, but that's why we had a crew. That musical thread obviously had begun because of the gift that my parents had passed on to not just myself, but my brother as well. We were very musical. We'd grown up with so much music in the house. It just coming up with the group and humming and singing, it was second nature to my brother and I. After I finished high school, I went to the University of Nairobi, studied there for my undergrad in German and sociology, graduated, and then I did very well, and I applied for a place at the New York University, at NYU, so that I could study for my master's. But I was accepted and didn't have the money. And that's how the radio journey began, which is really another story altogether. But when I look back at the basics and the blocks and the foundation of where I'm from, I'm a simple girl at heart. Yes, I like nice things. Who doesn't? But I know what it's like to live without things. I know what it's like to find happiness in simplicity. And I've seen and met people who've come from a background with so much, but I've never felt the pressure to try and be like them or to try and acquire stuff. I've understood a simple life is a great life. If you can be happy and you can be thankful for what you have, great exciting doors open. And for me, great exciting doors have happened and opened. When I look back at how we grew up, my brother Mark and I, it was simple, but it was fun. Kids are always going to be naughty, regardless of whether your parents are cops or whether they are doctors or whatever. There's always going to be places where you push the line and you're just not quite sure where the boundaries are, and sometimes you cross the line. For me, I was more the sober one, the one who would try and think things through to the end first before I jumped in. My brother, on the other hand, he would go and get in trouble. And then I would get in trouble because many times my mom would say to me, where were you when your brother was doing this? Why didn't you stop it? And I'd be like, but he's doing his own thing, you know? And I was reading. I didn't know. Because my brother used to like to play, there's a little river that flowed right outside where we stayed. And my brother, he'd wake up at 6 in the morning on a Saturday and he'd be right there in the river making boats and creating things and making little trailers. And then he'd go up to this place near Parklands police station because trailers used to park there, and he would see these trailers everywhere and they used to excite him. And I didn't get it, but he had a very mechanical mind, and of course his passions and his interests were his passions and his interests. I learned to be responsible early, yes, but there was one particular time that my mother was so upset with me. I can't quite remember what I'd done, and so I decided I was going to run away, and I packed a bag, and in the bag was, I think, a packet of popcorn and juice and a book, and I was running away. And I got as far as the petrol station near our house, and my dad came home and asked my mom, Mami Kwapi, because I'm named after his mother, Mkabili. And she said, she's run away. My dad, you know, later he told me, he asked her where she ran away to, and she said, I don't know, but if you just get out of the house and walk, I'm sure you'll find her somewhere. And sure enough, he found me at the shopping center because I didn't have bus fare, so where was I going to go? Couldn't quite go to my grandmother's house. And so my dad said, Mom, umekasirika? Aya ingia, utakula chips? Nani amekujamisha? Mom! Okay, Mom, because he used to call me Mom. And he went and bought me chips, and we sat and talked, and he said, you know, we have to go back home. No! He said, no, we have to go back home. If she ever makes you upset again, you will tell me. Okay. And we went back home. And that was the first and last time I ever tried running away. It was always love, you know. There was a time one of the housekeepers decided to steal the salary because, you know, pesa ya polisi mkilipwa back then, they'd come home with big wads of money. And so the woman took the money and went away with it. And for a whole month, we had to survive on malenge. To this day, I do not eat malenge because we ate every form of malenge you can think of. We had malenge breakfast, we had malenge leaves lunch, we had malenge seeds dinner. I cannot look at a malenge now and not feel a shiver or just start sweating. So it was a lot of laughter, a lot of kindness, a lot of learning, and a lot of responsibility and just owning up to whatever drama that you're putting people through. I wish I told my father a lot more how much I loved him. But he knew I loved him. But when I look back, I just wish I spent more time just saying to him, Dad, I really, really love you. But he was proud of me, and he said it many times. He used to say, Mom, you've done well. Mom, I'm proud of you. When I was graduating at the University of Nairobi, both my parents were in the police band, and you know the police band is always there. And when the president attends a graduation, the police band plays the music. So it was so wonderful to graduate and see my dad, and he would wave, and he was in uniform, and so was my mom, and they were so proud, so proud. And I understood that degree was not even for me, it was for them, because they never went to the university. And the importance and value that they had attached to my education and my brother's education was embodied in getting that degree. And they just, you could have thought it was them graduating. I love them both. I'm grateful to them both. And for anybody who's watching, if you're a parent, you have children, tell them you love them, because I wish I understood and I knew that saying I love you more would have been the thing that would have made my father happier or my mother happier. But they always say hindsight is 20/20, and love and telling people you love them is a good thing. Yeah.
To the world.
Wacha nikupe vitele
Tupendane milele endo letu lisishe. Acha nikupe mapenzi tele, twende juu twende chini, pendo letu haliishi.
Sheila,
Yes.
Sheila mwanyigha. That was Nikki.
Yes.
That was Nika. Welcome back to Journey Series edition hosted by yours truly. When was that? That was Nikki.
Yes.
Kia nani? Hiyo ilikuwa ni lini?
1997.
Ngoja kwanza Sheila. You know there's something about your voice. Sauti yako bado ni ile tamu.
Sauti kutoka baba na kueleza kutoka baba mbinguni.
Sasa ni sauti ya kutoka ni upwani, ni utaita, ni yani maana sauti iko Taita, nyumbani ni Taita.
Ndio, baba alitoka Taita.
Baba ametoka Taita.
Ametoka Taita na marehemu, lakini mama
pole sana.
Maisha.
Na mama?
Mama Kirinyaga
Pasi.
Massive. Kirinyaga massive.
Lakini ukachukua kila kitu cha kule Vundanyi.
Kweli, passport nayo. Sauti nayo. Pishi nayo.
Yeah. So how was it growing up?
Simple, but fun.
Eh.
I had fun. I
Eh.
was loved. I never doubted that I was important, that I was special, that
Yeah.
I was blessed. Tulianza kuimba na baba zamani.
Your dad alikuwa
Polisi, yeah?
askari wa
Yes, but he was the conductor of the Kenya Police Band.
wale wa hivi.
Yes. He could write music, he could play instruments.
Yeah.
By the time he was retiring, he was an assistant commissioner of police.
Wow.
Wow.
Mtoto ya askari.
Mtoto wa askari nililelewa na shida lakini nione.
So ulizoea kuona suti kwa nyumba, uniform?
Yes.
From a tender age?
Of course, na mama Pia was in the band as well.
Yes.
She used to play the flute and she used to sing.
Yeah.
So I grew up with the uniform in the house, but I wasn't going to pick up the uniform.
So your mom was a cop also?
Yes, yes.
Nani
Yes,
alienda up traffic kama wote wale?
My brother is the one who ended up becoming someone in the forces.
Yeah.
But I stepped away from
So
that
it's just the two of you, you and Mark?
Yes.
Mark wa Rock of Ages band?
You know him, of course. Paki
Of course,
people.
Parkland Baptist Church, kwa Pastor Ambrose.
Ndio huyo basi. There you go.
It's just the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's it.
So how did you not end up kwa military? Because before tuonge story ya hata radio na nini music.
Yeah.
How? You just decided ametosha wameingia.
I don't know. I think it was, I just knew in my heart I wasn't meant to be there.
Okay.
From the moment I knew I could sing,
Yes.
and I could switch on a radio and listen to radio and write down song lyrics and answer questions and just interact with the radio on my own.
Yeah.
I just knew military wasn't where I was going to end up.
Na dada kukuambia.
No, that encouraged pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
Whatever makes you happy. The first time I was
Fanya.
performing, and I was performing that song with Kalamashaka, it was at Splash. Walikuda na mama and my brother, they all came to watch.
You collaborated with Kalamashaka. That was in 97.
97.
97. Wow.
Kenyan the first chapter.
Kenya's the first chapter.
And Maina was on that album. That's where I first met Maina.
Maina Kageni.
Yes, he had a song. Maina used to sing.
How was that song
Maina
of
used
Maina
to sing
Kageni?
with Ted Josiah. If you want it, if you want it. I was like, what?
Master, what
So
happened?
hurt yourself now.
Atakagi hiyo wimbo ikichezwa by the way.
Let's remind him.
Yeah.
Hi, Maina.
Ebu tell me the story here. At you went with your parents for your first interview.
Yes, the first time I was performing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you've gone through so much and you've recorded a song, you hear yourself on the radio.
Yeah.
And then there was a concert in support of Lona Irungu for treatment at the time. And so Kalamashaka were going to perform, Hartson was going to perform, and Nikki was going to perform.
Nikki, you're going
So I had something, you know, Tumbo, the waistline was a bit smaller. And so you're dressed to the nines.
But
and your
you're
parents
still looking amazing.
Thank you.
You're looking amazing.
And that's true too. Thank you.
Ati alafu, so your dad took you for the interview?
To perform. So you're on the stage. And you know, someone had told me before, because there was nerves. Nilikuwa nimeogopa jamani. So someone just said, take a little something to calm your nerves. Wait. To any artist who's ever going to perform for the first time, never take a little something. I couldn't remember the words to the second verse.
You took a little something. Nani alikunulia?
I'm not going to disclose that here. My parents were there, and it's somewhat my parents do. The track is playing, and you're like, oh my gosh, verse 2 is coming. Me sikumbuki words, please. Just take this wheel, please. And you're snapping your fingers. So I sang the first verse again. And because the song was still so new, nobody really cared. And I think they were just looking at my belly button. And I was like, yeah.
I can imagine Nikki in there. How was the pressure performing?
Yeah, but it was really good.
Yeah, and you had all the support from your parents?
Yeah, they were there all through everything I've ever done in my life. Everything. Even, you know, a few years ago, there was a billboard. And people are like, oh my gosh. Do you know who chose the pictures with me? My mom. Okay. So I was like, nini watu mtalala tu, ni sawa.
Mtaelewa tu.
Yeah, mtaelewa tu. So there's nothing I've done that my parents were not 100% with me. Yeah.
Even when you did your masters in Germany. Understand, you do Germany. You did...
that was in my undergraduate, because nilienda Pangani, and by the time I was coming in, Pango girls for life. We were a member of alumni. So no joke.
No joke.
I mean, I joined the German classes, so I started studying German there, and I thought I was going to go and study dentistry. But by the time those 4 years were over in Pango, I knew I can't deal with blood, so dentistry is a wrap.
Is out of the way.
And anyway, I'd formed a music group, and I was going to University of Nairobi, where I went on studying German. and sociology. But then when I went for my master's, which was about 8 years ago, then about 6 years ago, then I decided medical sociology is what I was going to master.
Naki Germani, Guten Morgen.
Jetzt ist nicht. Morgen.
Guten Morgen?
Jetzt. Guten Nachmittag.
Guten
Good afternoon.
Good
Look at the sun where it is in the sky.
Oh, how do you say you're beautiful? You're so beautiful in German.
Du bist sehr schön.
Du schön. I knew Doshoela had a meaning. Doshoel, Ati?
No. Du
Bist?
bist sehr schön.
Yo, Tony, I love you.
No!
You're beautiful.
I love you. Ich liebe dich.
Hey, bitte. There's nothing loving about that. I love you. You tell me I love you.
Ich
Nicely.
liebe dich.
Huh?
Ich liebe dich. Verdammt, ich liebe dich.
I agree. And how to say me too?
Mir auch.
Me how?
Ich auch.
He how?
No,
me how?
No.
Unasemaje?
Nein.
What do you say? Me too.
Me too. Ich auch oder mir
He,
auch?
me how?
No.
He how?
Please, no.
No, I need to get it.
Mimi pia.
No, say it in Kijamani. I want us to get to that space.
Ich auch.
He how?
Hey.
He how?
Hmm.
Niambie you love me and stuff
Ich.
like that. Niambie so
Ich.
do it. Ile you love me, those things like now you mean it like romantic in German.
These are the things that are going to come back to haunt me.
No,
in
they won't. Just say
memes
that. I
and-
want to see how it sounds in German.
Okay, it's not very romantic.
Okay, try. Give it a try. I mean, we are very beautiful place.
Wie kann ich sagen?
Karura. Say it, babe.
Wie kann ich sagen?
Oh.
Du bist sehr korrekt. Du bist...
Ni hao.
You shouldn't have turned around. I fell apart to the end.
That was the end. It was
Because
not
you
the
turned
end.
around and
I
looked
should know.
deeply.
I was meaning it. I was serious about it.
You were looking into my Augen.
Yeah.
And I just...
Like,
no, that's the look.
Great. So now what do you decide now?
Yeah.
The music is, this is it for music. Now I want to get to radio. How did you get to radio?
The leap to radio happened quite accidentally, really.
Yeah.
Caroline Mutoko was working at Capital FM at the time. Caroline Mutoko.
And you know, you and Caroline, there's something, even the voice, the sound, the beauty. Hey, guys.
I learned so much from her because her shift at KISS was at 6.
Yeah.
And then I came on at 10 after her.
Wow.
So, and for me, I was coming as a singer. But before that, she had a show on Capital in the afternoon, the drive in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so I had worked on a project. It was East Africa's first enhanced CDs. Nobody makes CDs anymore, but back then it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it was a CD that had a song and a music video. Wait.
Wait.
Hey, sit down, everybody. And so she was interviewing me about it, and that day they
As
happened-
Nikki.
Yes, as Nikki.
Yeah.
And so that day there were riots. The students from university had run rampage. So getting to Londro House was like a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I told her, Caroline, you won't believe what's happened to me getting here. So I told her the story. She laughed, and you know, Caroline, when she really laughs, tears.
She cries.
She's like, "Hey, so are you sad? What is it? I'm fine. I wasn't hurt. I'm okay." She's like, "I'm just laughing, silly girl. I'm laughing."
Yeah.
And then after the interview, she said to me, "There's some people who've just listened to you. What is your plan?" And I said, "Well, I applied for NYU. I was accepted, but I can't raise the money because time barred for looking for a scholarship, and we have to raise the money. And my father is just retired. There's no money. His money is now his pension.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a job."
Yeah,
so
but
she says, "Give these guys a call.
Yeah.
They're setting up a station.
Yeah.
See if it's something you want to try." So I gave them a call.
Yeah.
They told me to come into the station.
Yeah.
Apparently it was an interview, Churchill.
Yeah.
Mimi Kazia studio, haha, wachani kupe.
Yeah.
Then you're on a stage waving. I went for this interview with the Tumbuka. I didn't know any better.
Yeah. That was Kiss 100.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a proper interview. I found people in the reception, and it's people who you listen to. What were me beba CV? Miss beba CV.
Yeah.
Then I sit with this guy. His name was Vaughn, and we talk.
Yeah.
And then he asked me, "What would you talk about?" And I told him I burnt my hair last night. I would talk about that because there were power problems.
Yeah.
And then I showed him,
Yeah.
and he died laughing. And he said, "Can you come for training?" And that's how radio started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just, what's yours will find you.
What's yours will find.
It will find you.
You don't think they looked at you and they were like, "Oh, this beauty."
Beauty is
behind
not
the
who
mic.
talks on the microphone.
Yeah, by the way, and you have very good diction. So that's how you started the journey in radio.
Yes, sir.
And then you ended up in Easy FM, which was Easy Ama Nation.
It was still Nation because when my job at Nation at KISS ended, Phil Matthews, about 3 days later, I hear you're looking for a job. I was like, yes, like, come over. And then I went to see Phil, and Phil was this towering, amazing,
authoritative.
You know, he was like Santa in many ways, but then at the same time he was like Santa with a saber. When you just go and do your own things. Today I'm not leaving with my head on. But he was such an incredible institution. And I remember many years ago when Capital had just started, and they had this big bash, and it was Jurassic Park, and he was throwing caps to people in the audience, and I got hold of one of them. And when I went to meet him, and when he gave it to me, I said, one day I'm going to work with you. And then like 10 years later, here I am at Nation, and I went with the cap, and I said, you probably don't remember, but look. I was like, oh my, I don't remember you. And I said, I know. And we just got along so well. And he took me from just being a presenter and speaking to programming, to scheduling, to research, to just knowing how to put together a station from scratch. And looking at the other side of the business, it was so, it was the best. I wish I knew that it was going to be for a very short time, but it was probably one of my best times.
What happened?
Phil left. Phil left, and the direction for the station also was changing. So it was good that he had trained me like that, because then I stepped in and I pulled my weight, and I got the station to do really, really well. But there comes a time in everyone's development where you know there's slightly more that you haven't got with you, but you have to get another tutor. And then came John Wilkins. Because I remember I was the one who actually signed his papers. I even took his papers to his house. So I hired my boss. Does that make sense? At the time.
You signed John Wilkins' paper?
Yes, I did. I took the papers to him, and it was like, yeah, this is the person. I had to vouch to Dennis Alwanga at the time, because with Dennis, he wasn't signing anyone on without a good argument for it. And then John came on board, and he continued to train me. And then John left, and here I was ready for this big moment, but the station direction was again changing, and there was different management. And you remember part of that story, and this is this and that is that, and here we are, yay.
John Wilkins.
Yes, and John was so, because I worked with John at KISS as well, and then I worked with him at Nation, and while at KISS I used to train people. I'd have interns sit with me, and that continued to Nation. Then it got to a point I said, I'm now just working on the programming side of things, so let's focus on that.
And John was likable.
Yes, he was. He was funny. He's witty, and we actually share a birthday, different years, of course.
And you loved John?
Yes, he was like this crazy older brother who just does things you don't understand, but then later on you say, okay, this makes sense. Although there was one thing that will never make sense to me. We had you in-house. Something happened along the course of Easy FM's radio history, and Churchill had moved from classic, and you were going to go on air with Chico, and it was going to be the wildest time on radio ever. But then...
PQ pulled another first one.
Clearly, and PQ2 is incredible, you know.
He is.
He takes chances on people, and he used to say, I remember he used to say two things. Numbers don't lie. That was number one. And then the second thing he used to say was, I need my presenters to be as big as the station. If you're not big, I have no time for you. I don't know why you're here.
And that's one great thing about it. Now listen, there's a story I need to hear.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to know, Sheila unangoja nini, alrusi ni nini.
Hey.
We talk about Tasker Project Fame, and of course we have to talk about someone I need to hear about. This is going to be interesting. Sio. Sasa kuna kala kawimbo kengine uliimba.
Siangalie nyuma, tazama mbele, usipoteze. Oh my gosh, I forgot my own words also.
You have to forget. Kwanza you and Prezo.
What?
Eh?
What?
Eh?
What?
Eh?
What?
that story too, you need to tell me. Ilishiaje.
But he spoke.
What
you
did he
see
say?
The YouTube series where he talked about it.
He said, who ended it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What?
Yeah? Who ended? Yeah? What?
Look at the time. The forest is closing.
We'll be right back for more of that with Sheila Mwanyigha. Tukitazama mbele right here on Johnny Series Edition. Don't go away. Tazama.
Tazama mbele.
Yeah.
Usiangalie nyuma, tazama mbele. Usipoteze wakatini wako. Angalia mbele uendele.
Wajua sauti yako ni ya ninga. Wajua sauti ya ninga. Mtoa nyoke pangoni. Tuarejea shortly with Sheila Mwanyigha.
The world.
Just welcome back.
Okay, willkommen.
Welcome back. We are back at the finals of Wimbledon here with my beautiful girl, Sheila Mwanyigha, Nikki, aka. How are you doing now?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Now, before tuendelee.
Yes.
Kuna billboard zako zililete shida. Accident.
Well,
how was that?
That was, you know, I'm used to attention. That may sound really, you know, vain, but it's just the truth. When those billboards went up, there's nothing that anyone saw.
Uliambiwa
You
ile
saw
accident
nothing.
ili create muthaika roundabout na pale.
But there was nothing that you saw. It was a celebration of good skin.
Yeah.
And those images, before they even went up, I
Yeah.
went through them with the one person who mattered the most.
Yeah.
Tulizichagua pamoja na Madhe. Na Madhe alizipenda sana because she was working on Mombasa Road at the time.
Yeah.
So she used to drive past it every day and she used to tell me, I'm waving. And then I wave back when I come. And then she said, if anyone has a problem with it, tell them to come and ask me. Because
Personal.
I made you.
Oh, yeah.
And I know what was seen and what was not seen.
Oh, yeah.
So please.
She's your number one fan, eh?
Yeah. I
Your
think
mom,
she
eh?
is. Yes.
Yeah.
The one person who I knew without doubt was my number one fan was my dad, because I was my dad's, you know, princess.
Yeah.
I know my brother is number one for my mom.
Yeah.
And then I'm over there, you know,
It's
others.
number one for you.
But when it comes to supporting me,
Yeah.
she's definitely there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is she, has she been part of who you should be dating?
Me?
And does she advise you?
I will tell you, when I was in campus,
Yeah.
the one thing she told me was, Ebu niangalie. So I said, yeah, what is it? She said, you're not looking at me. Niangalie. Mimi ninafanana na Jojo. Ebu ende campus ujaribu make show utanieleza ulienda kufanya nini huko. But you know, for her, she understood motherhood is a choice. And she said, you're now part of a generation where you can live your life, you can do the things you want. So then nitakupatia pressure of bring me a husband, bring me, you know. You live, do the things that make sense.
By the way, you inakuja harusi.
I hope so. You know.
You hope so. Unakuja?
Ah,
Are you tired kuambiwa uni nini? Ama ungeza?
it's tiring, but again, Kamala Harris, 50 years is when things started happening. Mnaniharakisha kwa nini?
Hakuna haraka by the way.
Wacheni kuharakisha watu.
Acha kuharakisha
Sasa
watu.
kukuwa vice president alafu mnanifanya sijui niende diaper.
But it's not easy. It's not easy, I can imagine. No coffee.
Okay, I'll stop competing.
Inside.
In marriages, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
And I believe you find someone who you'll walk through life with.
Yeah.
Not just anyone.
Is it that hard nowadays to get someone you really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and especially when you're in a position where people know you and they see you, so they assume they know you.
Yeah.
They assume this is the person that you are.
Yeah.
And really, you're just a very simple person. Inakuwa complicated.
How do you want to complicate?
Sana, kulikuwa na time nilikutana na a very nice man. I thought he was very nice.
Yeah.
We went out for a meal.
Yeah.
And it was during the TPF days.
Yeah.
And you see the waiter is happy, the people are there waving, so you wave back na unasalimia watu.
Yeah.
Wacha tumalize dinner.
Yeah.
Akaniambia unajua, for us to date, not get married, utaenda uache hiyo job yako.
And that's the time ulikuwa unafanya Tusker Project Fame.
Hey, to date.
The biggest show.
To date.
To date.
Yeah. To decide if we like each other or if we don't like each other.
Ukamwambia, you know what?
Soma label.
Yeah. How was TPF, by the way?
Woo! It was good fun.
Yeah.
I worked with really great, I've got one, I'll serve.
Yeah.
I worked with a great team.
Yeah.
A very good team of individuals.
Yeah. You ulifanya na Gaetano?
Hey, that's how.
That's all right.
Tulifanya with Gaetano the first season.
Yeah.
And then I think we were together for about 3 seasons. Then Mitch came on board.
Yeah. I know. It was awesome.
And there were lots of young kids who were coming in to sing.
Yeah.
But I always look back and I just feel so many of them didn't even know why they were participating in the first place.
Yeah.
Just being famous to be famous. But
imagine.
it was a good show.
Are you planning to go back on TV? I'm on radio. I need to hear that.
I love radio. Radio, you know, through the years I used to be asked, which one do you like most, radio or TV? Radio or TV? I think I love radio more.
Yeah.
Radio was technically my first child.
Yeah.
Music was a passion. Then work-wise, it was radio.
Wacha nikwambie, nitawaambia what I think you should do.
Yeah. Okay.
So now what's the future here now? So you want to do radio?
Yeah, I'd love to do radio.
Yeah. So what's Sheila doing right now?
Right now, I've got my own little business. It's called Rembesha.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle magazine. We started out with print and digital.
Yeah.
So we're now evolving to a more digital presence.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I consult with people who are finding space in the social media online platforms. Because you know this stuff is, hatukwenda shule.
Yeah.
So we're all learning.
Yeah,
Na
the
kuna
digital.
wengine.
Shule umeenda.
Shule nimeenda, lakini shule ya digital.
Yeah. Everyone is learning.
Everyone is learning.
Just like COVID, we have factory resetting.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Sana.
So it's helping people, consulting for different corporations, helping people with the knowledge that I've learned.
Yeah.
Like people who want to go on air, sometimes people get in touch with me, I mentor them.
Yeah.
Remember this, these are your basics.
Yeah.
Be like this, but not change the person. I never tell anyone what to say. It's just best practices I've learned over.
Live out loud. Sheila lives
out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a simple channel. You know, in today's age of ratchet.
Yeah.
Not racket.
Yeah.
Age of ratchet.
Yeah.
There's just so much that's fixed to scandal and sensational.
Yeah.
But then I watched, do you remember that chef who died and he'd come to Kenya and he was talking to different Kenyans doing different things.
Yeah.
And he said the story of Africa should be told by Africans.
Yeah.
So what is our authentic Kenyan experience
Yeah.
as Africans? What's our experience? What's our place? What is this thing?
Story yetu ni gani?
Ni gani?
Yeah.
Mtu akisema hiyo nimesikia hao ni wa Kenya. What is it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to use that online presence and just some of this celebrity or fame or whatever you want to call it to just open doors and connections and tell stories that matter, not ratchet,
Yeah,
but
so serious.
honest stories.
I think you should go back to TV. You should do TV. Seriously.
TV is demanding.
No. Wacha kujificha huko kwa radio. Ama?
Radio is good fun.
Yeah, it is. How do you keep this fit?
Why? Wacha kunifanya kukimbia.
How do you manage to keep fit like this?
Huh?
How do you manage?
Oh,
Hii miaka yote.
I walk here at the forest.
You walk here at the forest?
Yeah, with my friends.
Yeah, and then you jog?
And I jog. I started running with Coach Douglas. Kwanza is looking for you.
Douglas wa Kihuri. Olympic champion.
Back in August,
Yeah.
during this lockdown, we are all at home. So I spoke to a friend of mine. I said, tumtafute. Atufundishe kukimbia tena.
Yeah.
We ran 1 kilometer. We were over there. But now we've built up to about 8 kilometers.
8 kilometers.
Wewe utakuja lini?
The next champion nitakujoin by the way.
When are you coming?
Nakuja very soon. Unafanya how many kilometers now? Comfortably?
I can get up to 8.
8.
Yep.
Pale. Angina hapa ndio show inaishia. Umenigonga. Korde Amiral. Can you talk to the youth here? You know, there's a whole generation that's coming after you. How you maintain to be on TV, radio, still maintain your level? What do they need to do? Because social media. Talk to a young Sheila watching you right now.
Pressure, eh?
Yeah.
Young Sheila, listen. You're right as you are. You don't have to change your skin color. You don't have to go which diet so that you can be accepted by this person or to look like you should belong here.
Yeah.
You don't have to sound like someone else. Just sound like yourself. Be unique. Find out who you are and be that person.
Yeah.
Don't be this person Monday, alafu Tuesday sasa to go drop down low.
No.
Alafu and then, you know, you don't have to do it because I always say the internet is eternal life. If you're not a Christian, hauamini, kuna mbinguni, kuna afterlife. The internet is afterlife. Anything you put there lives forever and ever and ever and
internet
ever.
never forgets.
It never forgets.
And
that's eternal life.
There's a girl who was asking me, so how do you stay out of this pressure? Because social media is so addictive. Kwanza wewe umemanage aje? Na wewe rumors na nini scandals, how are you managing it?
You have to, again, be authentic, be yourself, speak your truth. Be that person that you are. I remember at the beginning at KISS, you'd be told, why do you giggle? Why do you sound so happy all the time? Come and be upset. But I'm not upset. I don't want to manufacture things that are not real.
You are happy?
I'm happy. Look at this. I'm here, I'm playing music, I'm talking, and I'm getting paid.
And you're still dancing.
How am I going to be annoyed?
You're a happy soul. Hebu tupatie handles zako, kuna jamaa nataka wakutie. What's your handles, by the way?
My handles on Twitter at Miss Mwanyigha.
At Miss Mwanyigha.
Yes. On Facebook is S Mwanyigha. And then on Instagram it's Sheila Mwanyigha.
Sheila Mwanyigha.
And then YouTube, of course, Sheila Lives Out Loud.
Sheila Lives Out Loud. Follow afua. Hebu ambi unatafuta jamaa anakaa aje?
What?
You Mr. Right. Unataka jamaa anakaa aje? Kind.
Intelligent.
Intelligent.
Someone who likes to walk in the forest.
Someone who likes to walk in the forest.
And run. Someone who loves God.
Someone who loves God.
Yeah. Someone who cherishes family.
Yeah.
And someone who's not threatened.
Okay.
Nikiingia mahali na tuko pamoja. Na watu wananisalimia by name. Na wanasema ile ya kawaida. Usianze kuniangalia sasa. Ya kawaida ndio nini?
Unajua kitu nimependa na hiyo description yako. Hakuna mali umeongea juu ya pesa, so hallelujah. You just want a kind man, not rude. Bas. Ngojea messages. Wase wa Islando. Utaki mtu wako na pesa. Hiyo ndio nimekuwa nikitafuta. Money is nothing, si ndio?
No, money is good to have.
But not umevunja tena umegonga. You don't need to have money, si ndio?
Money is good to have.
But it's not a must.
You have
if you
to
get
at
a
least.
good man without money. A good guy
so
with good heart, anapenda Mungu, unamtumia airtime. We are done. Mr. Rice, mko wapi? Come, let's go. Kuja ni kuintroduce kwa jamaa anaitwa Oti hapa.
I can't even.